Drake supporters in Canada got into a fight with Rick Ross and his crew supposedly for playing Not Like Us.
Happy Canada Day to everybody.
He gotta stop getting cornrows with that boy.
So now you got a whole West Coast of people. They at your head. Oh, that's what we doing? You don't need that, Mr. Drake.
This to me is only reinforcing how hypersensitive Drake allegedly is.
DIY.
Okay, DIYers. Over the last week, when all of this stuff has been going on with Not Like Us, and we know how much of an insane run this has been since that song got dropped. With the recording of this, the video dropped. We already reacted to that. Go ahead and check that out. But this situation, I don't want to let it fall between the cracks because everybody's going to be talking about the video over the next week. This is something that needs to get brought up because I think it's unfortunate. Anytime these things get violent, like it shouldn't get there. I feel like when it gets violent, that's because somebody's in their feelings and can't handle the competition of it. By the way, I'm joined here with my sisters. I'm joining my siblings. This is Paige. This is Jasmine. And they're going to give some perspective that I can't give. A younger perspective as well as a opposing perspective on what I have going on here. Because
Always.
Because even the contrarians. Because it's me. I'm their brother. What the heck? But here's the situation. It says Drake supporters in Canada got into a fight with Rick Ross and his crew supposedly for playing Not Like Us. I saw another video that said that as Rick Ross was leaving a show he did in Vancouver, Canada, he requested for the DJ to play it as sort of his outro song. Well, somebody, a group of people approached him. This post went public and it seems like Drake liked it, kind of insinuating maybe that he encourages such behavior. This was unfortunate to see though. Watch this video. You know the unfortunate thing about just watching that first clip? I seen about 2 or 3 black faces, and I heard about 22 niggas.
Hey, yo, confession, it's the first time I've seen Rick Ross. I have never seen that man's face.
What you mean you never seen his face?
I've never seen that man's face.
How did you avoid seeing Rick Ross's face?
He ain't had a hit. He had a hit.
Oh my God.
Yeah, thank you.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it. She said she ain't seen Rick Ross.
Were you in Canada?
Wow, the way that you wrapped him up like a burrito was crazy.
Look, I'm going to hold y'all hand when I say this about Rick Ross.
Oh, Lord. Don't hit. Oh, gosh.
But the only hits I know of him are from Drake. And it's real wild that he got so loud and his music so quiet.
Damn. Not her going harder in the reaction paint than I've gone. What is going on here?
But yeah, don't beat his ass, eh?
Yeah. Not hey. Hey. You cheesing, fam? Chill out, Crody. What are we doing here?
I'm supposed to be nice in Canada.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's watch the rest of this video. It's kind of hard to make out everything, but this guy seems to be the one swinging. I just think that they not like us playing in the background so calmly.
So crazy. I don't know.
Here's the misperspective people are going to have about this. I don't condone the violence, don't want to see the violence in a situation because I feel like it's people involved that have nothing to do with it. It's not Rick Ross versus Drake fighting each other. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Men should be able to handle those situations as men. But the fact that you got somebody Crodies is out here handling this, some people have alluded to, I don't want to say these things without any evidence because I can't get my channel taken down, but some people have alluded to some people that were involved being associated with the Hells Angels. I remember having a conversation with Justin on his channel, and he was telling me that there have been a lot of evidence, I guess, to support some kind of alliance between Drake and Hells Angels, which is a well-known gang. I don't want to put nobody out there. I feel like that's dry snitching. I'm going to shut up. But I'm going to just say this. Whatever's going on here, this is when things start to get even messier because what you got to do with this? He ain't mentioned your name. What you jumping in? You going to jump in for another man. I'm sorry. I look at that. I know that we're dealing with, that's a different industry, but I just look at that and I feel a certain way.
There's always a woman screaming.
Yes. What is that? Explain to me why every time there's a fight, there's always somebody that's like, ah!
Someone said that was Drake. Oh. Oh, nah.
Y'all cooking. Why are y'all cooking like this?
That's all you got.
So they turn this off and then turn on Meek Mill Dreams and Nightmares. Like he's had the best history with Drake. Somebody was really trying to get him. I think that DJ need to get investigated. What is he doing? This to me is only reinforcing how hypersensitive Drake allegedly is. Because when I look at his reaction, we're going to go to a few different reactions. This is what he posted a day after this situation happened.
He gotta stop getting cornrows with that
He
forehead.
really
Like never before. African woman, you're the one I adore. Happy Canada Day.
This is on Canada Day, by the way.
See, I'm rapping, so happy Canada Day to everybody.
Who was that laugh?
Cheers, man.
No. Who was that laugh?
Happy Canada Day to everybody. Cheers, man.
That's a nasty word.
Cheers to the whole country.
I'm not hating on that glass though. That's a real.
That glass is fire. He for sure got that on his Amazon list.
Not the Amazon storefront.
Yeah, the Amazon storefront. But can we talk about? Somebody brought this to my attention. Can we talk about the Hello Kitty nail?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Oh, you can't see it? Here you go. Man's got one singular Hello Kitty nail. I'm sorry. This to me, and I'm not talking about nobody that likes to wear it. You know, if you're a dude and you like to do that, man, groom yourself the way you do. Make sure you make this life about you. If you feel good doing that, I don't do it. You see, I got one messed up figure. Don't worry about that. To me, this video screams, I can be cultured too, Kendrick. Look at me singing tunes that Canadians only know. This is how he responds. So I think the little laugh there was him like, you know, I could go in and say something. I could be petty. And, you know, maybe even if he didn't have involvement, which I don't believe that for a second, if he didn't have any involvement or any ties to anybody here, maybe he's just looking at this situation and saying, that's what you get for trying to diss me. It had nothing to do with you. You called me white boy. I had to go tell my mama you was a racist. So that was the first initial reaction. You know, I said this on my Twitter today, or when I actually posted this. I said, fam, anytime I think to myself, damn, Curtis, you way too old to be acting this petty. 50 Cent pop up on my timeline and do something like this. This is 50 Cent's reaction to that video we just watched of Rick Ross.
Hey guys, you know, I just saw
Anytime 50 Cent start a video off with, hey guys, you just know he about to troll.
hey guys, you know, I just saw a very unfortunate situation that took place in Canada, and I wanted to say to everyone, you know, that I hope that that brother made it home safely. I hope that
What?
he now has a different perspective and a better sense of what to do and what not to do while you're out in the world, you know? That part where the young guy went like, he did this little move and shit and got knocked the fuck out, like right there. That does not reflect him. That reflects his camp. And he might need to go get the Dream Chasers?
Jeez Louise.
Or the 305 Killers?
Okay, so we know 50 Cent ain't got no sense. That's really a true statement. 50 Cent ain't got no sense. He don't give a damn about nothing. Plus, we know we have a very storied history. They hate each other to this day. That might be the number 2 beef on his list as opposed to Ja Rule. But of course, he said something. That's that. But in the midst of this, a few people kind of jumped up and said something.
This particular record.
How about you stop, academics? This right here is Uncle Luke. Right, obviously a 305 legend, a Florida legend, 2 Live Crew. He takes a very different perspective, and this is the one. I know we having our fun, and we laughing at all the stuff going on, but when it gets to this point, to me, this is when folks have stopped rapping. It stopped being about the competition, and it gets in some of that dangerous ground that we heard D1 talk about when it comes to the history of rap and how things have gone. Peep this video out. We're not going to watch the full thing, but here's some of the things that Uncle Luke had to say, because he had a very unique perspective in that he tried to be a mediator between Biggie and Tupac before their untimely passing.
This whole fighting my boy Ross and his guys in Canada, that's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Unacceptable. That don't happen. That don't supposed to happen. And what's more unacceptable is when Mr. Drake liked the post. That also is unacceptable. I expect more out of Mr. Drake. When there is violence,
Why he
when
call me
there's
Mr. Drake?
violence,
Mr.
you
Two
don't
Live Crew.
condone it.
OG talking. Stop being rude. The OG talking. That's your problem. Yeah, that's your problem with your generation. They ain't got no damn sense. I'm acting like you really interrupting them. This is a video I could have paused, so I guess I'm kind of partly to blame. But he makes a good point. What do you think about what he said so far?
I mean, maybe it's just me, but when I like a video, it's never like I don't mean anything by it. I usually like a video to save the video, which is also weird. If Drake was liking the video, be like, I'm gonna bookmark this later. I'm gonna put a pin in that.
But you're also not a 37-year-old man like Drake.
Oh, that's
Who said
crazy.
that?
No, I'm just saying you're also not a 37. And Drake, I think it's
know
a matter
that.
of I think what he's kind of alluding to is y'all act y'all age before this gets ugly. 'Cause we've seen a history of this.
I see what you're saying. I'm just saying. I don't know. I feel like a like sometimes don't
Doesn't
mean
really
much.
mean anything.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a one to like,
But for
especially when you
Drake,
know there's gonna be
even-
headlines. That's a hell of a like.
I'm just confused, right? Because this, technically, Rick Ross ain't in the main part of it, right? He
Right,
a
right.
sub character, right? And when I look at Rick Ross, wasn't he a formal parole agent, correction officer, whatever it was?
gotta
I'm looking
chill.
at
Not the
him.
guest star.
You gotta chill. I'm gonna spit that water out. Good. He's not a main character. It's insane.
It's I'm looking at him, and I'm not thinking he's scary and kind of street scary. He oh, that's a police officer kind of scary. If I see him, I'm thinking he's a bouncer outside a club, and does my outfit look good enough to get in? That's where my thought process is.
Hold that thought. Had to give you one of those. You're out of pocket. Continue.
Do your thing.
But it's just yeah, why would you beat his ass? Because one, how did you know that was Rick Ross? Do you listen to him? Do you got his album cover at home and you said, oh, this match? I don't know how that happened.
That's the man.
I can see Rick Ross in a room full of people and not know that that's him to beat his ass.
And I kind of feel like I don't know. I'm not gonna speak on no kind of culture that I don't know nothing about. I don't know the depth of a Rick Ross's ties where he's from. But I have an idea of a Kendrick, and I feel like this kind of stuff doesn't happen with a Kendrick. I feel like, first of all, he'd have adequate security, that are the legal security, first of all, and not homies that he put in position to crash out. So I feel like that's a target you're not going to get to. Matter of fact, there's a reason Drake sold that house in Calabasas and decided to move where he moved to. But I look at this and I'm like, maybe Rick Ross to him seems like, what is he going to retaliate? I wonder if he's even concerned about if that would what kind of retaliation are we going to get from a Rick Ross? I think is maybe what is going on through his head. But I'm like, that's such a weak target to go after. Not saying that Rick Ross is weak, but I'm like, he's in Vancouver, Canada, doing a show.
He's not a main player.
He's not even the guy that just beheaded you. That's like you taking a sword, beheaded me, and I look over you and say, I didn't like you. I never liked you. My last words.
You should be bigger than that. Mr. Drake, you should be bigger than that. When there's violence, you don't condone that. You don't like no posters and all that, because here's what happens. There's always a backlash of it all. Here's what happens when now you've inserted yourself. Even if you were not involved, half of the country think you set the man up. They book a show in Canada, and you send your goons out there.
You know, there used to be a thing, right, in hip-hop. I'm not going to put no names out there, but when rappers used to beef in the 90s, if a rapper couldn't get to you and couldn't find you, he would hire somebody to book you for a show.
Oh,
So I'm going to know where you're going to be at. So we don't know if that's a situation, but how hard would it be for Drake to make a call? This is the insinuation, allegedly, right? We have no evidence that Drake says to a promoter, hey, book Ross out here.
Well, that's gonna be an easy book.
It's an easy book. And then imagine whatever he's going to pay Rick Ross to be out here, he doubles that in the payment to the actual promoter. So that's the kind of business that you see. It's not hard to get a rapper to get out here, especially when, the money may not necessarily. Maybe it's something that was too good to look away for, Rick Ross. Not saying he's hurting for it, but I think that maybe it's too good to look away. And you get to go to Vancouver, Canada, and be petty. Because I know he's really wanted to be petty. I know you wanted to be petty.
To agitate and start a fight with Ross. And y'all do what you do on the TV. Half the country think that. When you, Mr. Drake, like the post, you just inserted yourself into violence toward Mr. Ross and his crew. Now, let me just say this. As a broker of peace for Tupac and Biggie, I seen how this shit end, man.
Yeah.
I mean, these other young guys, we're going to have a conversation with a lot of these other young guys who dying, these senseless deaths and these songs and all that. Y'all brothers are talented.
Yeah.
Y'all got to understand, y'all talented. Y'all don't need that.
Man, Julio Folio, rest in peace. Talented artist, reckless as all hell. Just unfortunately passed away last week.
Y'all talented as fuck. Y'all getting people to buy the records. People are buying your records because they like the music. They like what you're saying in the records. So leave it there, young fellas. But now these grown-ass ones right here, Mr. Drake and Mr. Ross. When you like the post and you on there doing your little, okay, it's a beautiful day in Canada.
The video we saw.
And you like the post, you just inserted yourself in some shit.
So let's get this straight. Drake can't go to California. He can't go to Southern California right now. Can't go to Oakland. That's Northern California. You can't go to Atlanta because they go to Atlanta when you want a couple of dollars. You can't go to Florida. Gonna stay your ass in Canada, boy, because it's getting...
Where's Sexy Red? He can go where she at.
St. Louis?
Oh, there you go.
I don't think you want to go to St. Louis. Like,
She got him.
look, she might be the only one. Remember earlier that story you told about that friend getting beat up, and you're like, ooh.
I wish you would have learned it, Doug.
Y'all can see Sexy Red. Stop it!
Stop it. Bend that ass over.
Get him sexy.
Not you imagining Sexy Red bending over, trying to twerk to de-escalate a fight. I can see that. Stop. Look at this. That's crazy. All right. Well, he goes on to talk a little bit about, I guess, some of the specifics. I didn't know that this happened with Biggie, that Biggie went on stage. He had fans that were like, OV. They weren't doing that, but they were like basically like antagonize him because of Tupac.
Look how this all play out. I'll keep it 1,000. Look how it all play out. Oh, so half the country thinking that Roston played the record, the Kendrick Lamar record, and he got jumped on because he played the Kendrick Lamar record. So now you got a whole West Coast of people. They at your head. Oh, that's what we doing? You don't need that, Mr. Drake.
When an OG call you Mr. and don't have to, you just know you in trouble. Mr. Curtis.
Call him Mr. Aubrey.
That's the full good.
No. I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna respect your entertainment name, but if I keep calling you Mr., you've messed up.
You're too talented. I like you. I got friends that like you. I don't know you personally. Don't need to know you personally. But you're too talented to insert yourself in some shit that you're not really about. To have a whole coast at your head. You don't want that. I don't want that for you. Now here's how this shit works out. Because again, look, I had the same conversation with Biggie and Pop. I'm probably one of the only few niggas that could talk to them straight up. I was on the road with Biggie when people would be singing Pop diss song while Biggie on stage. I seen this thing, and I've seen this man.
You've heard Hit 'Em Up before, correct?
Oh, you know I love
y'all have heard.
That's how I go to work. That's the first song I
You know what the funniest thing? You know the funniest childhood memory I have, and this is gonna sound bad because it's gonna sound like I was a bad older brother, but you gotta understand, my sibling had a mouth of hers. She used to talk a lot of shit. She said one time when Jay-Z and Nas had they battle, I heard her in the other room and she was like, "What Jay-Z? Yeah, what's up, nigga?
I know you ain't talking about me, dog. You what? You been on my dignity. You love my style." I was like,
I walked in the room and said, "What has this hip hop done to you?" I'm gonna tell you what I'm not gonna do. Let me tell you what I'm not gonna do. Let you tell me what I'm not gonna do. If you want me to win, just tell me that I lose. I'll ring the alarm and I won't snooze. Let me tell you what I'm not gonna do. Let you tell me how to light my fuse. Oh, you here for the cloud? Oh, damn, that's cool. But I bet you never know what a boss go through trying to build me a school. Your tweets got me amused. Ooh, I'm gonna block you and mute. I'm due. Think y'all got me confused. You wouldn't fit in my shoes. I have to grow. I have to go. I have to stack after mode capital. Yes, these are the words of an animal. Spell Curtis King in all capital. And oh gosh, and that's magical. This ain't Game of Thrones. This basketball. It's a game of zones and I'm passing y'all. I did it cause y'all ain't had the balls. I live it and now you wanna make some calls. Now you wanna tell me how to drape the walls. Backseat driver trying to race the car, but we built this thing and we taking off. Yeah, gotta get it while you still can. But he's saying literally Biggie went through that. I didn't know that Biggie was going on stage and they was like basically harassing him with Tupac lyrics. I did not know that. Not surprising, but I did not know that. Now I'm going to end it right there because that was an interesting point. There's a video in 2017 before academics was compromised on the everyday struggle with Joe Budden where he says, he answers the question from Joe Budden, 2017, where he says, do you think Drake is scared of Kendrick? Here's what he had to say.
This particular record, I listened and I'm like, yo, I like how Kendrick's popping his shit. I think on this record, even though I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, I think he pulled Drake and Big Sean's whole card, basically saying, listen, man, I'm the guy. How the fuck? And he was definitely taking shots at Drake. I love when rappers own their spot and own what they're doing. He gets the Midas Touch reference.
I look at Joe Budden's face right here. It look like he could tell the future like that's so Raven. You know when she get one of them visions?
What top 5 you smoking on, Kendrick? Because my top 5 is Drake, 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 Drake.
I feel like he got a vision. He's looking like this is going to age terribly.
Is Drake scared of Kendrick? Let me get my direct
What
questions
the
out the way.
fucking yeah.
Is Big Sean scared of Kendrick?
No.
Does Future keep making the same song?
Why did he catch a stray at the end?
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna
That with no context. That's crazy. Yeah, that was 2017. That was DJ Academics who was doing all of this crazy talk about how Kendrick don't want to see Drake and how Drake got something for him. And family, anybody can be compromised in these situations, and it seems like he might have been compromised. But look at Joe Budden saw the future. That Gemini looked right in his eyes and said, "You know it's gonna age. He's gonna age terribly, right? You know he's messed up." And it did. Oh my goodness. Let's keep seeing some of the reactions of Not Like Us. There's a reason why Drake seems to be allegedly finding his way to violence. Because people are saying things. Speaking of Joe Budden, here's an updated version of a Joe Budden. This is what he said. He said, this is why he loves seeing Drake get his ass kicked by this Kendrick beef.
You have a little bias to seeing Drake get his ass kicked a little bit.
Bias. I love him getting his ass kicked.
All right, I just wanted to.
Did you think that he was going to run from?
No, because I feel like
absolutely
people
love him getting his ass
people
kicked. Drake is being used as a shield for what the real conversation is lying underneath, which is culture people versus numbers people. Mm-hmm. It's not really about Drake for me. He was just the person on the cross. Part of the problem with this shit also is 99% of people are Drake fans. Mm-hmm. But there's so many different Drakes. Which one are you a fan of?
Ooh.
Good point.
I'm just.
The grass is crazy.
Which one are you a fan? Are you fans of?
Just hold on, we're going home.
Right. And here's the thing. Here's the hardest part about being a former Drake fan is the fact that when he left Degrassi, he left and they told him that he was never going to be anything. Like Degrassi was going to be the height of his career. Aww. And I feel like he still hears them in his head.
I'm sure he does.
And it's like, Drake, just calm down. Like, let's go back to Replacement Girl. That was a good song.
Right.
Let's go back to like.
I like that song.
Best I ever had. Like, he somehow got so lost. And if you remember, Degrassi only had like 2 black people at a time.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it was like Drake.
I used to be mad at you for watching TV when I wanted to play PlayStation, and you're like, "No, Degrassi's on, and then Buffy the Vampire Slayer's coming on after that."
Don't you disrespect her?
And then Moesha's coming on after that too. I got the TV for the next 4 hours. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but like Degrassi didn't even really have black people on there, so it's not like even if you try to explain to him like how he's wrong, you could never. Everybody that's ever influenced him has been white. I mean, even him, like, is his mama white?
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
Yeah, so he ran to his white mom who couldn't even explain to him. Like, a black dad probably would have told him, like, hey, son, you acting real reckless right now.
Yeah.
You acting real white right now. And if you want to fit in with this crowd, this is what you got to do. But he don't have that.
That's true.
And that's probably real sad
so
for
real.
him, is that he doesn't have a culture like most of us do. Like, you know, it's like when people be like, oh, growing up, black people didn't like me because they thought I was whitewashed. And I was like, no, you were being weird.
Yeah, you're doing it again.
You're being weird.
You're literally doing it again, and people are like, hey, stop doing that thing again.
Yeah, and you're saying things like that. And it's just like, you know.
Hey, Kendrick's rapping like he's trying to free the slaves, huh?
And who okayed that?
Am I right? Am I right? Huh?
He said that in the company of his white company, and they were like, oh yeah, that's funny, right?
Because
black people are already free. Why would he need to free the slaves?
You're good. That's how you know this. That's how you know that's my sibling. Damn it, that's my sibling. That's my sibling. Well, he chose his white side this week. Said Barbie doll. You talking about him doing the project with old girl who said some questionable racist shit? I wasn't gonna touch that story. I'm gonna leave it alone. But he just keeps doing things that are like not only culturally tone deaf, but just tone deaf in general. He just doesn't get it. One of those things is his weird obsession with having to say nigga. And he says it in a way that feels less like the culture and more like, what's that dude off the Boondocks?
Oh, like Riley?
No, not Riley. Riley of the culture. I'm talking about the one that was like, you Uncle Rocky.
Cause nigga just rolled off the tongue the way sweat rolled off a nigga's forehead.
You say it more like you detest the word, like I have to say it in order to be a part of this culture. Well, Lord Jamar had some really interesting statements about it, and I want to get your perspective because he's older than me. I want to know like your perspective on this whenever you hear it. Is this something that even gets to you when you hear it? But listen to this.
I didn't hear in the song, I didn't hear him say he can't say nigga. I heard him say it's cringeworthy when he says nigga. That's what I heard.
He said that. He definitely said that. Yeah.
And I totally agree. It is cringeworthy. You know why it's cringeworthy?
Why is cringeworthy?
Because this nigga don't talk like a nigga. Okay? This nigga, like, have you seen the different accents that Drake possesses? There's a Jamaican Drake.
British
There's a fucking British Drake. There's a white regular like Jewish fucking Drake. And then there's this fucking Atlanta Drake. There's also a Toronto Drake because they got a little fucking slang up there too. Yeah. Like, so all these different Drakes that this motherfucker comes out with, like, but it seems like the way he really talks is like, yeah, you know, and then, you know.
That's the real voice, that's the real voice.
And then I was thinking that, you know, maybe I could invest my stocks in a 401k, and that way.
What are your initial thoughts on hearing that, both of y'all? What are y'all thinking when you hear this? Has that ever struck you as an awkward thing when you hear him talk in a certain way?
When people use slang and they not a part of their life, so they use it incorrectly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
it's like the gap thing. Yeah, it's like, please stop saying that.
You really eating that, huh?
You are chewing.
You really chewed that up. What?
There are crumbs.
You disintegrated the crumbs off that plate, huh? Yeah, no. What about you, Paige? Has it ever been a time where you were like, I don't think he not like us?
I don't think I've ever heard him say it right. You know, like, you know when someone says nigga for the first time and you're like,
I could say it.
Yeah, you like,
I got the pass.
They do the pause before.
But there's like a aggressive.
Pause is crazy. The pause is crazy.
They go when they nigga. It just don't feel right. My spirit.
No, looking in the mirror and practicing the ways to say it isn't crazy. Somebody said that. I think Pusha T might have said that.
It would really mature in such a way. That's how the nigga talk. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's like, when it's time to get on the record, it's like, yeah, shawty. Like, you know, like all of a sudden he got this little twang in his voice. Right. Yeah, and now that's when he's talking all this nigga shit. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's almost, if you,
I never thought of it until Kendrick said that. Like, he got those accents, and I didn't like them accents.
Cringeworthy /
like Kendrick's
insulting, and the only reason why he kind of gets away with it is because his father's black. But here's the thing: he didn't grow up with his father. He grew up with his mama, with his white.
You got something you want to say about that?
No, he's right. He actually, and Drake says it in one of his songs too. Like, you know, was it? He's like, black kid without a father, same African. I thought that was offensive at the time, but like, he didn't grow up with his dad, and then his dad came around after he got money, so he ain't never had nobody that was for him at any time.
If that's indeed what happened, he only came around and got money, then what example is that of the kind of black man to be?
I guess we'll never know.
All I know is, continue.
In a white neighborhood. So again, it makes it clear. I could see if you was one of these mulattoes that grew up in a black neighborhood.
I never liked that word, by the way.
I know you hear it all the time.
It's something about the way that word just.
I don't like the way it rolled
it's
off
the
his
O.
tongue.
It's from Django. And like,
yeah, the way you say it just feel like I'm about to get auctioned off.
You know that mulatto boy down the street.
You got a little mulatto down the street. You talking about a dog?
With a black family around black people, and that was part of your vernacular growing up. you ain't really start saying nigga in this kind of way until you started rapping. Before that, you were saying, I hate these niggers.
Let me shut him up before he get my channel canceled. But shout out to the OG Lord Jamar. Always going to give some perspective. When these kind of conversations are being had around you right now, I can understand why Drake, I mean, just human to human, even if I don't agree with his ways, and I can understand human to human, this has got to be very pressing on your ego.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. He can't watch the basketball game. He bet on the Dallas Mavericks $500,000 that they would win. The next day, the Dallas Mavericks were practicing to meet the Grams. And then he also lost that $500,000 because the Dallas Mavericks lost to the Boston Celtics in the.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Crazy. Oh no.
And I don't know if he's a Spike Lee fan. Probably not. It might be too cultured. But if he is, I caught this video here. Man, shout out to Spike Lee. 35th anniversary of Do the Right Thing. Bro, I remember I remember seeing that for the first time on VHS. I remember Pops showing that to me. That was a very important movie that Pops wanted to make sure I understood very early on. Not even the edited version.
Where is that? Where it's raining like that?
He's so happy.
I think it's New York. It gotta be Brooklyn. I'm assuming this is Brooklyn.
Oh hell no!
This is crazy. Ooh, oh my Lord! I might lose my guess. We're going to end this. I do the last reactions by myself. I'm about to lose my guess. It's cool because the food is ready.
Oh.
Look at how.
It was nice. It was nice being here.
Hold on. Let's finish this out. Let's finish it out. Let's finish strong. Look at this. Here go Kamala Harris reminding you.
It's weird for her to do it.
Madam VP Harris, I'm worried about the election.
I am
Women's
too.
Reproductive rights are on the line. Our Supreme Court is on the line. Our basic freedoms are being tested, Madam VP. I know you've been traveling across the country. What are you hearing?
Yeah, girl, I'm out here in these streets. And let me tell you, you're right to me. There is so much at stake in this moment.
Woo.
The majority of us believe in freedom and equality. But these extremists, as they say, they're not like us.
Oh, Lord. Can't even get away from the not the vice president.
It's not his vice president. You gotta remember.
That's true. That you make a great point. Here go some kids in here dancing.
Not the children.
The children. I don't see not one black child in this room, which is very interesting. Look at this.
That's you guys.
You are Drake. You're officially Stranger Danger.
Oh man, that's Drake's whole friend group right there.
He is officially Stranger Danger. Okay, here's the last video. Hey, look, round of applause for my sisters for holding it down.
This food's calling my name.
Did you see that picture?
No, I didn't get no picture.
Look at this.
Oh, hurry this up.
That's crazy.
Shout out my mama. My mama down there cooking. Shout out Roro down there cooking. You hear me? You hear me? My mama down there cooking. Hey, I'm gonna finish my job. Hopefully I get up. Hopefully somebody send me a plate up here.
That's crazy. That's crazy. You clocked in.
I clocked in. I'm at work.
Clock out's crazy.
That's crazy. All right, so let's get this last video down. This is so dope that we were able to do this. This remind me of like old school days. In the summertime, I love y'all so much. I know we ops, but like after this, we're gonna be back to ops again. But I love y'all. I just want you to know that. Mm-hmm. Dang. Y'all don't love me, no?
Oh, I love you too. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to not love you in that moment.
$200,000 worth of donations to LA charities following his pop-out concert. Hey, it's Asia Sky for Hip Hop DX, and check this out. Kendrick Lamar put on quite a show for his city with his Juneteenth pop-out, but beyond the entertainment, he also gave back to Los Angeles in a major way. According to Billboard, K-Dot, along with his company PG Lang, Tim Henshaw's free lunch, and the special guest that he brought out at the show, made a $200,000 donation to 20 LA-based charities and city community initiatives. And speaking about it, Henshaw said, "We haven't seen this type of unity on the West since we lost our brother Nipsey Hussle. As Dot said on stage, this moment was bigger than a back and forth. It was about supporting each other and showing the world that we could come together for a greater cause. All of these organizations play a pivotal role in the development of our community, and the hope is that we all continue to support them moving forward." The Compton Girls Club was one of the 20 recipients, and in a statement they said, "We would like to thank PG Lang and Free Lunch for recognizing their roots and supporting girls from the hood. It's refreshing to know that Kendrick always comes back to the community to support the next generation."
So, final thoughts, and I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and eat because I know y'all. Look, I'm hungry too. But what are your final thoughts on all of this? What is your advice to Drake? If you could talk to Drake right now, if y'all could talk to Drake, give some Gen Z advice. I need some millennial advice. Give some advice to Drake because I've been trying to advise him, but he can't watch the news. He can't look at American politics. What do you got for him?
Look, I'll look in the camera for this.
Uh-oh.
Hey Drake, quit.
Crazy.
It's over for you. There's no coming back. It was nice knowing you while it lasted.
Damn.
The career's over.
Jasmine?
I'm gonna be nicer to you because I know you're going through things right now, right?
Scoot into the camera. Look,
So, Drake, you could have just been the best Canadian rapper. You could have just been the best you. And instead you tried to be the best us. And I think...
Ooh, let her cook. Let her cook.
Honestly, I think you need to go back and you need to find out who you were before you started stealing cultures. Because if you find that base and just be the best at that base, people can rock with you again. But as long as you keep cosplaying as everybody else, ain't nobody gonna come back. So...
Ooh, it's hot in here.
DIYers, those are my siblings' perspectives. You let me know what you think. DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Stop being greedy. Peace.